You have finally broken Kevin Garnett's curse. Congratulations, T-Wolves. Considering that Kevin Garnett was my favorite player growing up, I do have a soft spot for Minnesota. And that's the reason why I have this nostalgic logo rather the current one they have. Anyways, your playoff performance was about as well as it could have gone. You pretty much met everyone's expectations. You didn't get swept, and you took it to 5 games. But even then, you had a couple moments that really questioned what the hell you guys were doing out there. Um, but overall, getting a playoff victory for the first time in, 14 years now, it's an accomplishment that you should hold dear to yourselves, but you should also be trying to strive for more than just one playoff win. Because I know that you, took on Jimmy Butler to win more than just one playoff game. I mean, this is a roster that should go deeper than it did. For example, having Derrick Rose on the veterans minimum was a huge factor, considering that he scored, 15 points a game during this series. So, problem is, his contract is up, and he's probably going to want more than the veterans minimum. And considering you guys are already in borderline cap hell, since Andrew Wiggins' extension will kick in by the beginning of the 2018-2019 NBA season, you're fucked 7 ways to Sunday when it comes to salary cap. So you should just be thankful that, oh, hey, look at that. We aren't the NHL where if you go over the salary cap, you are just fucked 7 ways to Sunday. Here, all you have to do is pay the luxury tax, which I believe is 150%. How much you went over, as long as it's not over $5 million, and then after that it's 200%. So it's not a very hefty price. If you go $10 million over the salary cap, you'll just have to pay $20 million in luxury taxes. It's not a very harsh penalty at all. Versus in the NHL, well, if you go over the salary cap $1, then $1 gets taken off next year's salary cap, and you have to pay a luxury tax double what you initially went over. So, it's a very hefty price. I like this roster very much, but on behalf of everyone, I have to ask, Coach Thibodeau, the fuck are you doing? And I can understand giving your starters a lot more minutes than your bench, but god damn. There's no excuse to be putting 21-year-old Karl Anthony Towns on the court for 46 minutes in the regular season. I never understood that. So, if I was the Timberwolves management, I would fire Coach Thibodeau and try to trade up for a high draft pick, so that way you can get that one great player of the franchise without having to break the bank, because you barely have a bank left. Jeff Teague's getting an unjustified $19 million a year for the next 3 years. Jimmy Butler not only got a trade kicker bonus, but he also is getting paid $17.6 million a year, which will eventually be $19.3 million a year. Then you extended Andrew Wiggins to a $154 million deal, which means you're going to be paying him a lot more than just $7.5 million a year. Cole Aldrich is overpaid with a $7.3 million salary for the next year. Karl Anthony Towns is extremely overpaid, and you're probably going to have to extend him if you want him to return to the roster in a few years. He is only getting paid $6.2 million, and he's going to want more. Jamal Crawford is getting paid $4.3 million a year for the next few years, Problem is, he's 37, and I think this will probably be one of those moments where he's probably going to retire right as his contract expires, so I wouldn't worry about it. Let's see. Why are you paying Nemanja Bjelica $4 million a year? That seems a little high considering he doesn't really do much, especially since, Karl Anthony Towns is on the court for at least 80% of the game. He doesn't really get in the court for enough minutes to justify that paycheck. Pretty high salary cap and very high payroll. Would not surprise me in the least if you decided to just trade up for a draft pick. Drafted a really good player and developed him. Fire Coach Thibodeau. Please, for the love of God, fire him. Because if he is still the coach by the beginning of next year's season, I don't see this Timberwolves squad developing their young talent like Andrew Wiggins or Karl Anthony Towns. That guy burns your legs and would be better off coaching a team like the Kings, where there isn't a whole lot of young talent and you've got grizzled veterans that are used to that type of punishment. Anyways, that's my 2 cents on the issues. Congratulations for breaking the curse, Minnesota, and hopefully you can come back next year hungry for more.